Here we go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Horror the Worlds, where we talk about horror movies and how they were influenced. I'm Chris Gerhardt.
I'm Stephen Miller.
And if you're watching this right now, it means you found this footage. Simple.
There you go.
Yes, we are talking about found footage movies today.
There's no radio at all. Not even with the bombing plane that's coming over. All radio is dead.
It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
We're going into a little bit of a history about it, but some of the amazing things that found footage actually does and how much fun it is because of how real it actually feels.
Sometimes when you watch a found footage film, you feel like you've stumbled across something forbidden,
that
like
you
shouldn't have. Yeah, that's why I always enjoyed it.
That's one of the things. Like, I was always kind of curious on when is it found footage, or what makes a found footage an actual found footage movie. So I watched actually a couple of found footage of movies that are on like YouTube, and it kind of feels like there is that camera, but then there is all of a sudden another camera that shouldn't have been there, shouldn't it? Does that take it out of found footage?
Right. Or
if you're watching a found footage and then all of a sudden it's on a different security camera, or it's not shot in the found footage format, but the rest of it is. Because there are a couple of those movies that are much like a Cannibal Holocaust. That movie is a found footage movie, but you're also watching people watch the movie.
Right. It definitely gives you that creep factor. In fact, speaking of that movie, the movie series Creep, is one of those ones that left me feeling like a little dirty afterwards. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have been watching some shit like
Which
that.
I believe we
stumbled across it.
We talked about Creep a little bit during our stalker episode.
Yes.
As well. So go back and watch that episode. No plug-in already. But no, yeah, Creep, especially with a TV series. I don't know if you watched any of those episodes, but they are more short and they still kind of give you that gratifying creep factor, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so a lot of these, especially when it comes to the Cannibal Holocaust, and I want to say what kind of helped start the boom of found footage, or give the idea, is the mobility of cameras. Cameras started becoming where you could actually hold them on by hand, do like 16 mil cameras, and a lot more documentaries, which I want to say that kind of helped boost the interest of doing a Cannibal Holocaust. It's like, why not just do a horror movie that is doing a documentary on this, unforeseen tribe?
Oh yeah, when it felt like anybody could make a movie, that's when that definitely kicked off.
Which I really do want to talk about more about Cannibal Holocaust when we do more of the extremism episode, because this isn't the episode. This is a grandfather. This is one of the ones I feel like that helped usher in and give found footage an idea. Granted, I mean, you do have movies like Faces of Death. I remember you were bringing it up.
Right. Yes.
Which I know when you brought it up, you asked, "Is Faces of Death a found footage?" And I feel free to leave in the comments anytime. Like, I don't feel like it is a found footage, because it is more of a exploitation on just all the horrors around the world.
Right.
So
I mean, that made sense, but that's also what kind of brought VHS into mind for me, because it's almost a found footage movie about found footage. Yeah, so I don't know, that one felt a little bit more on the nose with everything.
I feel like that's where that line verges. Like, Faces of Death feels more of a documentary of all of this shit that's going on, and then like VHS is kind of the same thing, but it's just in the actual horror genre.
Yeah.
I feel like that is one of the movies that helped create the whole mockumentary, like subgenre of found footage films. So you have movies like a TV movie. So this movie is actually really awesome, and I don't know how much of this I'm actually going to talk about, because it was set on Halloween, which is a great Halloween movie to watch, is GhostWatch, that came out in 1992. The overview on GhostWatch is a British mockumentary supernatural horror television film first broadcast on BBC One on Halloween night 1992. Written by Stephen Volk and directed by Leslie Manning, the drama was produced for the BBC anthology series Scream 1 by Richard Broke. That is not telling you about the movie itself, but so this is a movie that's shot like it was actually a TV show.
I remember hearing about the advertisements for it. It wasn't exactly advertised, but the way they told the history about it, it was painted almost like it was War of the Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
it was perfect. Like, it actually freaked people the fuck out when they first watched it.
Which, that's the thing, like, watching this movie, you have to kind of put yourself back in 1992, where people are watching the news, and I want to say this, the main actor, the main person on this show or movie was an actual newscaster. So everyone, when that came up, everyone thought this was
Easier to
actual
buy
events.
that.
And if, again, I want to say this was supposed to be part of a 4-part miniseries that was supposed to be leading up to this event, but they didn't feel like people would actually tune in or actually know, so they just kind of scrapped it and just went all towards like this last episode of this house being haunted. So you have this newscast that goes into this house to see if it's haunted, stay overnight, and stuff goes down. Stuff actually happens. Then it doesn't. Then it does again. I ruined it right there. But one of the things I actually do enjoy about this is, like, one of the things, if you actually watch Red Dwarf, or if you're a sci-fi fan, you'll see your boy Lister on here as well. He's one of the news anchors on it, and he adds some comedy to it, which is great. But I also feel like I know Adam Green wanted to do a movie that was just like this, and do it back in the early 2000s. Didn't happen because of all the possible lawsuits of people actually believing in it.
Oh,
So thanks to lawyers, you can't have this kind of fun anymore.
taking all the fucking fun.
Mm-hmm. But you also, with this, kind of help give the birth of a mockumentary, doing stuff like Leslie Vernon, Behind the Mask, which is an incredibly solid movie.
Great. I was laughing the whole fucking time, really.
Which, that one, if you like found footage, give this one a watch, because you're following another documentary newscast following a serial killer on what they do and how they stay fit and
how
all
they
these
keep
antics.
up with his victims. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, it is perfect. I thought it was a mockumentary at its finest.
They merged. It's still one of the few movies that merged that comedy and horror perfect together. Like, it wasn't full out horror, but it was at a slasher light, given like that horror genre. I like how I would describe it.
And with the whole thing with GhostWatch, also with Hell House LLC, they definitely had that kind of, the disaster happened here, and this is what went down, and then the found footage was given to the news anchors or some shit like
Miraculously
that.
edited.
Yeah,
Somehow,
right.
like, they all died, but they got edited, then got sent in. Like, that's one of the things it's always hard to believe with found footage. Like, all right, this was set a year ago. Who the fuck found this footage a year ago? Who's out hunting these people down and found this flash drive or found these canisters?
Right.
I mean, unless someone actually knows, like, hey, if I end up dead or you don't see me for a while, here's where I've been. Like, it seems like found footage movies should be something that you found like 30 years ago. We should be finding flash drives or old CD-ROMs or something like that have.
That's what I thought made VHS so much fun, because it was like they were going to rob this house and they stumbled across a bunch of VHS tapes. It's like Tales of the Crypt, almost, only self-administered horror.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's another one of the things I like. Another one of the movies I love that does a mockumentary so incredibly well, which it is so in your face when you're watching it, especially if you know. I hate to describe him as this, but he's kind of a famous character actor. Because I know calling someone a character actor has a stink upon it, but it's that one that you see in every movie, and they have a big part, a small part, or background. I wanted to say his name is Ray Wise, but he is the one that is dug up the marrow and is talking to Adam Green, which Adam Green is the one that's filming this documentary. So It is in your face, a fake, but still gives that feeling of being real.
Right.
Incredibly well shot on that end. But I wanted to bring up GhostWatch, because as much as it's not a found footage-ish, that's where I feel like another one of those ones, if it's found footage or not. But it helped usher in Blair Witch Project.
Oh, yeah.
The one that boosted found footage and made this a stakehold, like an actual subgenre within the horror.
Yes. In order to do this episode, I watched it for the first time. Finally got to watch it for the first time. And I can see why people both loved it and hated it. For those people that said that they didn't like it because of the blackout scenes and stuff like that, I felt like it only helped the writers develop a story even better. They took away visuals and they left your auditory to build up the suspense and let you be almost the creator of
The
your
theater
own
of the
horror
mind,
story.
a
Yes.
little bit.
And I thought that was what made it brilliant. At the same time, I could see why you're like, why am I just staring? Why did I pay to look at a black fucking screen? Like, that would drive me absolutely nuts.
Thing is, I'm kind of curious. You say a black screen, like there's not that many black parts. I'm curious.
There's like 3 or 4
there-
parts where it just cuts out, and it's because it's either the camera got knocked down or
Yeah.
the character got out of frame, and now you're just looking at what a 1990s camera does, and it's not pick up much.
Yeah.
So-
Which this one kind of makes sense. My argument on like who found these things. Like I guess this was filmed in 1994, but really filmed in 94, but found in 99.
yeah.
But I think that's the thing. This movie is so simple when you look into like how this movie was actually filmed. Because I guess it was these kids that didn't have any money to begin with. Like, hey, you want to make this movie? You're going to go out camping. Here's all the equipment. Go to destination to destination, and when you get to that destination, you'll have pretty much a script or something along those lines of this is how you should be feeling. Here's a recharge of batteries, whatever, and directions to go to the next place. And that's what it was. So it's pretty much
It's like Naked and Afraid, but with horror.
I mean,
Here's some old ass equipment. Good luck.
Yeah.
This is how you take care of it.
but Blair Witch is also coming up on a big boom because this movie made so much money, and the actors made no money. off of
None
it.
whatsoever. Absolutely. In fact, they just got made fun of in Scary Movie. That's the results that got them. And if you've ever seen it with that last scene, I can see why they chose that scene to be made fun of.
I also want exactly. I also want to say, like, I think when this movie made so much money and like when it was still in theaters, all these actors got was like a care basket of a hey, thank you.
Fuck you.
Yeah, it was it was nothing. They're like, oh, hey, here's a bonus, or hey, here's a career of movies. I want to say a lot of these 3 actors didn't really go anywhere after this. And it's just recently since they actually got their voice out, and a lot of these writer strikes and director strikes, you know, the DGA is like it's put more of a voice to these actors.
What's even more fucked up is the second Blair Witch had familiar faces in it.
I don't recall the familiar faces. I still love Blair Witch Blair Witch 2.
No, Blair Witch 2 was great. It's just I recognize some of those people even in other like
those actors in
yes,
other movies.
those
Okay,
actors.
yes.
Like it felt like they were like, all right, let's go ahead and kick it up a notch. We're going to put a Marilyn Manson soundtrack to this bitch and
They put some production
some
value on it.
stereotypical characters up in there and make them a little familiar.
Yes,
And
very
then-
cut and dry actors. Like, all right, this is your trope. This is your stereotype.
Yep.
That's all you're doing. Which at the same time, though, I feel like Blair Witch 2 helped make another found footage movie that's not a found footage movie, Sinister.
Oh, all right.
I want to. This is one of the things I remember hearing a podcast with him in it and saying like, "Oh, I made a horror movie about a horror movie about someone finding found footage because you never see a movie that's about found footage or someone finding footage and what happens to them, which you do, Cannibal Holocaust.
Right.
You know, I think he actually cited it as Cannibal Holocaust, but he actually did this one pretty incredibly well as well. Sinister is a good movie.
Wasn't Green Hell kind of half on, half off with the found footage thing?
I don't think I've seen Green Hell.
You should. It's I believe that's an Eli Roth film. I can't rember whether it was half
Oh
on,
no,
half
you're
off.
talking about? Are you talking about Green Inferno?
Green Inferno. Yes, my bad.
Because when you
Green Hell. I was thinking Misfits. My bad.
so that was the whole thing. Like, no, that isn't a found footage movie.
Alright.
So it is a big love note to Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, okay.
Because Cannibal Holocaust was originally called Green Inferno, and you know, with Roth being a fan and just being into the industry as he is, he wanted to make that movie. Which that's another solid movie.
Love Eli Roth. I feel like he hits a character every time, and it's whether it's him directing it, him being it, or it's horror or comedy. That motherfucker's spot on.
I think that's it. Like, he's a great director, and he's a pretty damn good actor as well.
Yeah.
Come on, somebody being a bear Jew. You know? I mean, when you're friends with Quentin Tarantino, you know that you're on an upper level than a lot of other people. I mean, if he respects you as an actor and a director, I know Tarantino is a fan as well, but I feel like
you got a certain amount of grit to you when you get recognized by that kind of group.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I know that I let him talk about Blair Witch, which I'm perfectly okay with because I'd rather have someone with a new experience talk about it because I do love that movie. I remember hearing about it when it first came out and the fear. The only thing I remember, but this was, I think I was like around 9, 10-ish when this came out on VHS or something like that. And I remember, or DVD, all I remember is my mom thinking that this movie was real and feeling like these poor kids.
And that's what it felt like. My friends got to go see that, and I wasn't allowed to see it. I don't know why I couldn't see it. I thought it was bullshit, because watching it as an adult, I can see why a lot of people disliked it. It didn't hit. First of all, you're looking for the creature. I'm a creature feature fan, and there's a lack of delivery on that. But that was probably my only gripe, because I can appreciate a story now as an adult, and they did a really good job at telling a story. And the build up and anticipation, I didn't feel like I needed to walk away to let this movie ride itself out a little bit before I came back in.
With the ending being so simple too, with the camera falling and you seeing the kid standing in the corner of the wall.
Yeah,
it was just
actually
eerie and creepy enough.
It's a little creepy. Yes, it didn't take
Simple.
a whole bunch of extra bullshit. It's like they found it at an abandoned spot.
And it didn't feel like a jump scare, like
No.
that blatant like cat in the face or loud noise.
No,
I think there was a loud noise,
but that's sometimes those jump scares that you can almost see as predictable, like in one of the movies we'll be talking about a little bit later. It almost made you feel on edge because you were trying to find that spot, especially on those scenes where it was blacked out screen. You're like, "Where's the jump scare?
were
There's
expecting
going to be
it.
a jump scare," and then there wasn't one. It was just raw storytelling.
Let's go ahead and jump into it. This next one is about a story about a boyfriend that fucks everything up. He's the one that helped conjure up this demon that was locked away.
Don't touch the cursed object. Rule number 1.
Well, technically he did. He was touching her, which was a cursed object. So soon after moving into a suburban tract home, Katie and Micah, is it Micah or Micah? Micah.
I thought it was Mika, but
Micah.
Micah.
I think it might be Micah.
It's been a while since I've watched it.
Became increasingly disturbed by what appears to be a supernatural presence, hoping to capture evidence of it on film. They set up video cameras in the house, but are not prepared for the terrifying events that follow. And the reason I say that Mika is a terrible boyfriend in this Paranormal Activity series is he started a lot of these. He's the reason this movie had so many sequels. Love him or hate him.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
he's the one that helped antagonize. Like, oh, I want to see her demons. I want to see this. And she's like, I don't want to see it. I don't like it. And then, boom, you have 10 movies.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yep.
But no, this movie was another one that was shot on a
Low budget.
pretty much no budget. I think it was like $15,000.
I want to say the most expensive part of this was probably the camera itself.
I want to say that probably was like a good $5,000-$6,000 itself right there.
Yeah.
And I think when a lot of people talk about like, oh, movie was only made for $15,000, I was like, yes, but then I think when it was sold, another million or something like that, or like 2-3 million, got dropped into it for cleaning up special effects and cleaning up effects. So
Paranormal Activity, by the way.
yeah, I
is the-
think I said that. But yes, this movie came out in 2007, so this was another generation came in.
Yeah.
So you had the generation that grew up and kind of knowing the Blair Witch Project, and then you had this younger crowd that was like, "Oh, Paranormal Activity is so new. Like, it found footage, like first found footage that was scary." And I was like, there were other movies that were better.
Absolutely, but there are some movies that sometimes watching a movie, you need to paint the scene yourself. And for this one, I had watched it not knowing what the fuck it was about. I had gone to my local library, rented a few horror movies. One of them was Zombieland, and the other one was Paranormal Activity.
This was a regular library or a school
It
library?
was a regular library. A regular library.
Okay.
So I went in and I rented these movies, right? Rented a couple albums or whatever. Brought them back to my apartment, and I watched that shit in the dark with the sound up full blast.
Yeah.
Because it had the shoddy auditory going on in it. You had the voices far off in the background, so you wanted to hear what it was saying because there were things that they were putting in there.
Relatively quiet, yeah.
Yeah, and it just amplified the creep factor because I wasn't expecting the one scene that freaked me out the most where the whole fucking wall shakes and then there's a screech coming from downstairs. It sent shivers down my spine. It fucked with me a little bit.
That's the thing. I think around this time frame, you have a lot of people that were already aware of jump scares. The whole leading up, like, oh, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Nothing happens.
Right.
Next day happens. And then, again, same camera angle. They're like, all right, something has to happen now. Something's going to move. Nothing fucking moves. nothing happens. This movie is like 80% nothing.
Yeah. Oh
know?
yeah. The some of the nice things that they did. It was clear that they used a green suit or whatever and laid down flour on the floor and put footprints that were obviously not human. They looked like fucking T-Rex tracks.
Demon.
It was definitely demon tracks, but it definitely didn't. You were not like, that's something I can easily write off as an animal or something. It was perfect as far as the low budget with the high delivery. The whole thing, and it came with 2 alternate endings. The one that I got when I rented the movie was the body getting thrown at the camera.
That's the thing, I can't remember which one is an actual alternate, because I think that is original one.
Yes.
The
alternate, in my opinion, from what I remember watching, I was like, I don't remember it ending like that because it was lackluster, and it was clear why they rewrote it.
Because I think it was she ended up going out and getting shot.
Yeah,
I guess spoiler warnings, whatever.
Well, it depends on which one you choose your own adventure.
Yes. So I think she ends up going out and getting shot, and then like she's dead. Then the one that's the original ending is the one where he gets thrown at the camera and she's missing.
Yes.
But that is also almost every time I think of it, it gives me actual goosebumps. Or every time I actually watch it is because she goes up, she crawls over, and just smells him. I don't know what it is about that.
It's very animalistic and creepy. Like, you can tell this well-established, brought-up woman is now nothing of what she was before.
Possessed.
And she is
thing,
crawling on all fours,
and
trying to figure out what this human is.
Like, I'm half expecting... I mean, I bet you they would have if it wasn't found footage, to just add, like, the soul coming up into her nostrils and just, like... just seeing that possession, like... But that what made this movie so fucking creepy for me. Like, the whole thing leading up to it, like, it was getting you more and white knuckle, and just kind of, like...
It took a lot of build-up. I felt like
it was done incredibly well.
Through the anticipation, you still paying attention, wanted to pay attention, so it didn't lose you.
I actually enjoyed a lot of these sequels as well. Yes, there were ones that were better than others, and I could not give you a list of which ones I liked more. I, however, do know I like some of the ones that people hate the most.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes with you.
It is. I like to think that people hate.
It is the devil's advocate every fucking time.
I can't help it. I find beauty in the oddest places.
That's
like,
fair.
I haven't made a movie. Yeah, I mean, we do this podcast, but I won't consider this a fucking movie.
Absolutely not.
It takes no talent because look how many subscribers we have.
I like when they paint a movie like it was found footage. Like the way they opened up with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was one of those ones where and these are their stories. You know what I mean? That
like,
kind of thing.
Like an unsolved mystery.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Like you are now you are now witness of these horrible events.
Yeah, this is a reenactment.
These are not trained actors. But honestly, I love it when they actually throw money in this, because that's one of the things this subgenre went so huge and so vast. What the fuck? Vase Voss. They did Cloverfield, which was an alien impact, but that was a big budget movie. It was shaky. I hated it when I saw it in theaters.
You give me fucking.
But that's the thing. That one felt big budget.
Motion sickness.
It did. And that one would.
Oh no! Is it District 19? It's a sci-fi, but it definitely had a found footage vibe to it.
I don't remember. Can't remember if I've ever seen it.
You should probably check that one out, man.
It has D'Angelo in it, so I mean, I might.
It was no. That was Chappie.
Oh, that was Chappie.
No. This one's more like aliens have started taking over our planet, and now humans are more like in concentration camps kind of thing.
I think I remember seeing this on another...
But it was more of an action sci-fi, kind of like Hardcore Henry, which wasn't found footage. It was all first person, but it gave me motion sickness all the same.
So that's... Hardcore Henry is another one I feel like is thanks to this found footage thing. Because I mean, is that found footage? Because I think they took his head at the end, and this is all the stuff that is.
Kind of, yeah, I guess so.
Kind of wouldn't it be?
In a way, kind of like, yeah. It would be like watching RoboCop only through RoboCop's eyes.
Oh, I would love to see that one. But when that, I'm kind of bringing up like a Cloverfield feeling like a Hollywood movie, big budget. One that was kind of big budget, but didn't feel big budget. How many more times can I say big budget? Is Troll Hunter.
Oh God, yes.
When you think of the technical aspects, if you have not seen Troll Hunter, go watch this movie. Pause it, stop watching this movie or episode. I don't really care. Go watch Troll Hunter, and just be wowed if you love found footage. Because if you think of the technical aspect of the shaky cam on top of making sure these trolls, all shapes and sizes, all these different variations of trolls, are moving. So you have something that's moving while the camera is shaking. How freaking hard that is for editing.
Oh yeah,
Like, I'm just talking about on that end.
You could definitely tell, like, there was definitely CGI done and stuff like that, but it looks good. Like, in my opinion, I'd never
So
get tired of
incredibly well.
watching it. It was each troll had its own lore, the reasoning behind it, how it happens, and there's still comedy inside of there. There's a little bit of tragedy. You enjoy the whole fucking thing. I promise you will enjoy it. I don't think this movie's been seen by enough people. Really,
I feel like it has a little bit of an uprising, but it is definitely one that's, you need to watch.
yeah. And if you're from Washington, your idea of trolls, like, this isn't like
This is
this is more like Fremont troll, not like the fucking cutesy bullshit that your kids watch. No, this is big, nasty, goblin-looking motherfuckers.
That Disney
Yeah,
Works
fuck you.
one? That was actually that was a cute little movie. All right, I don't give a fuck. I enjoyed it.
I hated it.
Another one that kind of brings up the low budgetness and horror aspect of found footage is the movie Reel, like movie Reel. That was in 2015. I personally didn't care too much for this movie, just because like the story was just kind of not
Long,
enough,
drawn out.
not enough for me personally to actually grasp onto. But I felt like they were just trying to push us to show the practical effects, like how good they were at doing practical effects.
Right.
But the gore that they showed looked amazing. It was just they were doing the whole cutaway, and then before you know it, all of a sudden there's a nail in his head. type of
Oh
thing.
yeah.
So it was just like they weren't really showing the actual penetration for a lot of these things, which kind of took away some of this action. But I still highly recommend this if you're not squeamish. So this one is like for those people that want to feel sick to their stomach and want to punch themselves.
I kind of like those. Yeah.
Like this is that movie.
So when you feel like you watched something dirty, absolutely.
And this is another one of those Canadian ones, if I'm not mistaken.
Canadians do it
So
right,
just like
bro.
a Skinamarink, they did that one right. I'm leaving that one alone. I'm one of the people that did not like Skinamarink. Go figure.
Obviously.
Half star that bitch on fucking Letterboxd. Latchkey kids, whatever. Fuck off. So the last movie I'm going to talk about, it's not 100% found footage, but it is something that hit at the perfect moment, and I don't know where or what needs to be done for it to be replicated again. And this movie came out in 2020 called Host. This is that one that was all webcam when they were like using, I want to say like they were using Skype to talk to each other.
I loved it because it felt like they were working with what they had going for them. They were abiding by lockdown protocols and all that bullshit, and they still made a pretty fucking good movie that reminded me of what was that, Last Call or whatever it is. I can't remember what the name of that damn movie was, but it was pretty much if you answer your phone during this, it was kind of like a spin-off of The Ring.
Mm-hmm. Which that's a one missed call.
One missed call. Yeah,
Yes.
one missed call.
Like that was also one of these things that, like everything, all the actors, everyone was interviewed on Skype. Everything was on like this. I say Skype because I can't remember if it was what streaming platform they were using to stream their fucking servers. But this happened during like at the very beginning of COVID, and it couldn't have gone any better because everyone was already at home locked up, and this is how kids were going to school. This is how a lot of people were going to work, was remote learning, like remote work and remote learning. And it just helped intensify because this was our new normal at that time being. Because like right now we're post COVID, where things are back to the normal, where we feel like we have no power to shut down the government again.
Welcome back.
But yeah, I want to say Host is still streaming on Shudder. It's another.
I was pleasantly surprised with it because the way it came out, I remember being at my wit's end as far as this shit, and I was like, this shutdown stuff, it's getting real boring. And at the time, I would have thought, like, this movie was going to get on my last fucking nerve about it, but it was actually very good.
Yeah.
I was really happy with it. I'm just surprised that, I guess I'm more surprised that I haven't gone back and rewatched it since then. It was one of
Which
those,
we-
I watched it during it happening. It felt like.
We will watch this one again, because there is another subgenre that is from found footage, or I shouldn't say found footage. There's another subgenre that I do want to talk about that's going to involve this movie.
All right.
So I'm okay not talking in depth about this movie.
But yeah.
All right. So I don't know if you're ever out in the woods, you stumble inside of a house and you see these VHS tapes. There are these rectangle things that flip open. They have film in it. If you guys don't know what it is, I don't know how old these viewers are. And you see a name scribbled on it, Bridget. Just smash that shit.
Leave that shit alone.
Fucking Bridget.
Fucking Bridget.